Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Katelyn from Katelyn Plans, and today I'm going to be setting up my Etsy planner for the month of May. So setting up this planner involves 3 different spreads. So this one is kind of like the base dashboard that has the monthly goal setting and the habit tracking, all that fun stuff. Then there's going to be the monthly layout, which is this. And while this is called like the monthly layout, this is what I would consider a monthly layout. So I'm doing this one. I'm doing this one, and then I'm going to set up this one where I write down all of the different designs that I'm working on. So it's 3 different layouts, and I'm just going to work through it. I'm going to write in it. I just want to get everything set up so I can start planning out my May releases. I'm going to be using some stickers from my Etsy shop to do this because, you know, it makes sense. My Etsy planner should have stickers from my Etsy shop in it. I'm using these ones from the April release. This one is Cool Doodle Blooms, and they're like a really simple kind of floral with like some doodly lines around them. And then the colors go well with this Good Vibes quote sheet. This one is on clear. I just thought it would work well in this particular spread. So I'm going to pair these 2 together, but then I needed some more like purple and blue tones to bring in to do the more functional stuff because this is pretty decorative. So I grabbed colorful boxes for just some blue colorful boxes. That made sense. And then I also have Live Creatively, which I saw some purple tones in. And then Watercolor Goals had some goal setting stuff that was also purple. So I feel like this combination of things will help get us through a successful month of Etsy planning. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about how I'm using this particular planner setup to manage all of my different Etsy stuff kind of throughout the course of this video. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this off the discs and we will be ready to plan, I guess. This kind of monthly gets harder to do because I need so much functional space in this. Every day corresponds to a day, as you would imagine. And when I'm planning in this layout, in this like portion of the Etsy planner, I use this to mark key days. So like when I'm gonna have my release for the month, when like I need to send out rep mail, like packages to my sticker shop reps. So those things get marked in here, as well as tracking like sales that I've made. So I'll go in and mark income, like how I'm doing on income over the course of the month. So however much I make on the Monday the 2nd, I'll mark on Monday the 2nd, and then it kind of cumulatively gathers throughout the course of the month. So I use it as kind of an income tracker in that way. Not necessarily for like official channels of like taxes or whatnot, but more so I have an idea of how I'm doing overall. And it also ensures that I go back and I check my Etsy statistics throughout the course of the month, which I've been kind of bad at doing, but I know I need to like go and look at the analytics and kind of get an idea of like, okay, this is how I'm doing this month compared to last month, all of those fun things. So I use this monthly for a couple different purposes. And over in the sidebar, I will keep track of like, okay, week 1, this is how much I made total. This is how many orders I got in week 1. Week 2, this is how much I made in week 2. And that's interesting to kind of compare from week to week. Etsy will do those kind of analytic tracks for you. You can look it up in their seller app. However, there's just something about writing it down on paper that helps me. And, you know, now I can like look back at previous months and kind of compare contrast like that, rather than having to pull out the app and insert custom date ranges and really figure out what I'm looking for over there. I'm taking the Cool Doodle Blooms and filling in this section of boxes over here. And just because this is like non-functional space, I want to make it as decorative as possible. I'm not really going to get an opportunity to do that anywhere else, so I'm going to make the most of it. These tiny little florals are great for filling in extra spaces that may have formed. So in between these shapes. And I can also pull in like stickers that I've cut pieces off of. I'm going to cut this one first. Oh, it is very windy out there right now. Sorry if there was weird background noise for a second there. This one's going to go over here, kind of on the edge of this. I'm just really filling in all of the spaces that I can fit stickers into. So I think that's pretty good for what it is. I can go back and fill it in a little bit more as I get closer to the end of the spread, but I want to make sure that I'm getting all the functional things in place. So to do the functional stuff, I'm taking Live Creatively because I want a box to mark what day my May release is. And I haven't really decided this quite yet, but I'm gonna pick something while I'm planning here today. May is a tough month because I have all of my finals due, all of my final papers, but I'm gonna place the release on the 6th, which is a Friday, probably 2 o'clock Central Time. That's what's been working pretty good for me this semester, kind of avoiding my class commitments and stuff like that. So I'm gonna put that there, and I'm gonna put some florals with it, but maybe some blue would be good because the box is purple. So I'll just do that. And I still have enough writing room, so that's not a big deal. But if the release happens then, I need to send out like rep packages probably sometime over here on this half of the week. I'm never very good at sending them like that far ahead of time just because I don't have the stickers done that far ahead of time. I'm working kind of close to the wire when it comes to sticker designs. I'm going to take this little page flag and stick that on Monday, as the goal is to send out rep mail on Monday. So that'll keep that in order. I'm trying to figure out the sidebar now. How do I want to keep that looking functional, but also decorative? I'll take a few of these little flower fragments and add them in, but I don't want to go overboard with this. I just kind of want like maybe a cluster of 3 or 4 of them. I'm going to go with the sky blue in conjunction with the purple and the navy to mix up the colors a little bit. It looks a little odd taken out of context, and maybe I could balance it out by taking this sky blue scrap and putting it on the opposite side of my Friday box. Like that kind of counterbalances it. And when I get stuff written in here, it'll make a little bit more sense. But I'm going to grab a mild liner real fast. And with a mild liner, I'm going to mark what days I want to keep track of like income. I'm testing the purple one just to see if it'll work with these colors. I feel like it will. Worst case scenario, I have the gray, but I'm going to go ahead with this more periwinkle blue and use that to mark all the days I want to track income on, which is going to be Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. This one has a little page flag on it, so it's going to be hard to write where I want to write. But I'm just going to place like a bar of mild liner on, oh God, I just did Tuesday. What am I thinking? Okay, I'm just going to ignore that and put mild liner on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'll be back in a second. So I added in all the mild liner on the days where there was decorative stuff in the way, like this Monday and this Friday. I just bumped it down to the bottom of the box. And then I'm going to take some white out and get rid of what I did on this Tuesday because it's just throwing me off and I'm not going to have a function for it because it's a random Tuesday. So it looks a little weird with the white out there, but I think it looks better than having the random blue line on a Tuesday. Now I need to backtrack and figure out what's going on with the sidebar because I use that to do those weekly weekly check-ins when it comes to income. My Live Creatively book is falling apart, but this is a sheet out of there. And I'm taking this purple sidebar so maybe I can put them in their own little special area. And I'm going to write on this spread sometime in the course of this video so that I don't forget anything that I wanted to do with like the setup. But this one is going to go right here. And I just need to divide it out like week 1, week 2, week 3, etc. And I'll probably do 5 weeks because there's 5 different rows. It just makes sense in my mind for this to be week 1, this to be week 2, etc. So let me find a pen. I'm going back with the mild liner and then I'm going to use this to mark out like the divisions between the weeks. So if I make like a stretch of it here, it's a completely different color because the paper absorbs ink differently. A little annoying, but I will be fine with that. And I'm just going to use this Papermate Flare pen to mark this as week 1. And the 2 things I want to measure are dollars that are made that week and then the number of orders. And I'm going to repeat this process for all 5 weeks that are going to be in this spread. Alrighty, so that is all set up, and now I'm going to take my Papermate Flare pen again and just put a $sign on all of these little stretches of mild liner that I've already created. because that's what's going to go into those like blanks. Those are all filled in, and now I'm just going to fill in like probably mail rep packages right there. I'd like to send out the form for them to select what stickers they'd like on the Sunday and then mail them on the Monday, so hopefully they'll be there to whoever receives them by the Friday release date. That's the hope. So I'm going to fill this one in, and then I'll swap over to this box for the release date and just write May sticker release at 2 p.m. Central Time. All right, that's all filled out. I don't think there's anything else I need to put on this spread, so maybe I could put a few more little decorative elements. There is a little bit of room to play around with still. I was thinking I would want to bring in one of these quotes, but I'm not sure that I have enough space to display it in the way that I want it to. So I think I'm going to leave this spread at this and then flip over into the next portion of this setup. And this is pretty much as far as it goes functionally for this. I just mark down dollar amounts throughout the month. I mark down like the weekly statistics, and then it's just a place to remember key dates. The next set is going to be like goal setting stuff. So I'll flip here and I'll grab the other page. And this is a space where I can get a little bit more decorative because there's so much additional like open space here. Like I'm whiting out these headers so I can make them into what I want them to be. This is kind of like an open void for just whatever needs to be done. I saw a sticker in watercolor goals that I thought might be helpful for goal setting, and it just says goals. It's a similar purple tone to the ones I was using in the monthly. So I'm going to take this to mark like overall monthly goals. And typically I do this up in the area that's already set out for monthly goals, but I'll get rid of monthly goals because covering it with another sticker that says goals, that makes sense. And then I'll probably stick some florals to the left of it so that it's not oddly right aligned. And this particular sticker sheet is available in both paper and clear. I'm planning with the paper here because I think the opacity will be good. I just have to white out so many lines in this planner that planning with clear stickers gets to be a little tricky. Put a blue floral right there to bring all the colors together, but that's like the monthly goals section, and that could be like a financial goal, or it could be like doing a collab with another shop, or having X amount of sticker sheets, so on and so forth. I'm going to get rid of where it says note to self down here. Typically, I'll do this for like business expense totals. I do keep a spreadsheet, like an Excel spreadsheet, to keep track of business expenses, but it is helpful for me to like remember if I had to spend a lot of money on something big this month. Like there was a month where I had to buy a brand new printer because I ruined my regular printer, so I used this to like make a note like, oh, I spent X amount of dollars on a printer this month. Don't do it again next month. So I'm taking this little checklist that is purple, and this one's gonna go down here. All of these things will get titled, but I just have to find the little header boxes for them. Cutting it a bit shorter because it just felt a little too tall for what I'm doing with it. And then this one's gonna go over here. Fabulous. And maybe I can even use some of these florals to disguise the whiteout that I've piled on over here. So I'll angle it upwards, that way I don't take away too much writing space down here. I don't think I'm going to need all of those bullet points. Typically I use that area as an overview of the sticker designs that I have that month, and then I go into more detail with their progress in the next set of spreads, which would be this one, and we'll get there. I'm taking this one that says I can and I will. I just love the ampersand and little polka dots, and I thought this could be fun surrounded by some florals. Just up in this goal setting void. And I use this as kind of an area to mark like major dates that might be coming up this month. Like when I did a collab with MU's Designs, I put a little box over here and was like, oh, don't forget on the 13th, this is what's happening. The 13th was just an example date. I don't actually remember what day it was, but I use this as kind of like a days of note area to reiterate some stuff that's on the calendar, or like just important notes of things that need to get done that month. And I'm taking I Can and I Will and just making it a really big focal point with florals. This will get a little bit more functional over here, but I wanted something decorative to start off with. To work in that more decorative stuff, I'm taking colorful boxes, and this is a box or a book of colorful boxes that I've kind of torn apart at this point, and it's all the blue ones. I put all of the similar colors together. I'm just trying to find colors that might work well. I like this seafoam green, but I don't think I'm going to get a whole lot of those out of this book. So maybe something like this color. It's more of a turquoise. These ones will be fine. So I'm going to cluster in a few of these. I don't really know how many of them I'm going to want, but maybe 2 is a good number of these. So we can put these together up here, and maybe like one of my clear quotes down here in this area. So we have, go where you feel the most alive, time is precious, waste it wisely, good vibes, be the reason someone believes in good people, happiness comes in waves, it'll find you again, and embrace all that's good. I think time is precious, waste it wisely will fit nicely in here, and I do like the purples that match all the purples I'm currently planning with. And I have no issue with some of it going over the box. So I'm going to layer this one in here. I think I put it at an angle, but it's going to have to stick. The clear sticker paper is not as forgiving to being peeled and placed again. That's just the way clear sticker paper works. And I'm sure anyone who has used clear sticker paper will probably understand that fact, but the sticker paper that I use is much like any other clear sticker paper, where it's difficult to move things around once they're already in place. Taking my last 2 little florals and just kind of bookending that, and we've finished a sticker sheet, which is always exciting. And now I want to find some skinny little boxes to label all of the different sections, and I want them to match the boxes I already used. So I'm going to take this color. Yeah, that's the same one. Okay, so this section down here, this one that's already labeled 1, 2, 3, that's where I mark my top 3 selling designs for the month. And normally I'll find another box over here to mark like my worst selling design. Not like as a pity thing, but like as a, okay, maybe this isn't what is as popular with your customers. And sometimes I'm okay with that. Like they're things that I just wanted to have in my own planner. So I'm just going to embrace that not everything is going to be a top seller. Statistically, only one thing can be the top seller. So, I mean, I'll mark it, but just more so out of my own personal interest in like keeping that in mind as I make future designs. This area, which is supposed to be a habit tracker, I kind of use as a habit tracker. More so it's like the last time I did things, or like the days that I did things. So maybe going to the post office or packing orders or even making a sale. Those are all things that I like to track over here. So I'm going to go ahead and fill those in accordingly. And I'm trying to decide if I want these boxes as the little headers. I think they'll fit nicely over what's already on the page. Why not? Another pop of color will not hurt. Plus, I get to work through some of these colorful boxes that I've had in my collection for a little too long. So I'm covering these all up, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill them in. I do need to white out the area that says track your habits. So maybe another floral would be helpful there. I just have to go get some more of them out of the craft room. I grabbed another sheet of those. First, I'm going to wipe this out just so it doesn't show through. They're pretty opaque stickers, but I just don't want to take any chances. I'm going to go with this lighter purple color. Put that off the page. And then the box is going to go in place where it needs to be. And I'll trim the excess of the sticker. I know it looks a little random, just like one flower stuck in the middle of nowhere, but it's doing its job in getting rid of the things that I don't want showing through on the page. And I could add in like maybe one of these darker blue ones to kind of distract from the fact that it's the only one over here. So this one could go up in that area. I could even take this fragment and put it down coming in from the edge of the page and frame the sidebar that way. I just don't want it to be like a million floral clusters, but who's gonna stop me? no one's here like live with me, so no one can stop me. This one's gonna frame that out a little bit better. I didn't like the way that it was the only cluster of 2 and the other 2 were clusters of 3. Oh, that looks good. Okay, I think that's all I need to do up there. I need to stop touching that area and maybe move on to some other places in this spread. And it might even be an opportunity for me to pause and just start labeling things to really help reorient my mind on what's going on functionally here. So this area over here is going to be like days when I insert word here. So this first one is going to be made a sale. This next one is going to be shipped orders. And then this final one is going to be tagged in a post. Just because I'm really interested to see who like tags me in their Instagram photos of things like using my stickers, which is always very exciting for me to see. I love seeing people's creations, and I'm trying to be better about commenting on like posts that I get tagged in or sharing them to my stories, etc. But I do like to keep track of that because, you know, maybe like there's a cluster of days that a lot of people are tagging me in photos and then a lot of people aren't the next week. I just kind of like to be aware of those kinds of trends. So I'm going to go ahead and write that in here. And these are really easy because you can just kind of shade in the day if it corresponds to the task at hand. Okay, so this is going to be goals, and I'll write in my like numerical sales goals in there after the video is done. I'm not even going to bother with that right now. This is going to be like designs, so pretty straightforward, just a list of things that are the month's designs. This one down here is going to be expenses. And I think that's what I've got for functionality on this half. And then over here, we're going to go with top sellers. Up here is just going to be where I write in like stuff after the fact, so I don't need to deal with that yet. And then this area is going to be for like managing my rep team. So I got to find some stuff to like include in there. I don't know if I want to use like colorful boxes per se. Maybe a little bit more decorative stuff and then some bullet points. That could work. For that, I'm going to take another one of these little checklists out of the Live Creatively sticker book. This is an old one. It's from when Stephanie Fleming published her book, and this was one of the companion sticker books for that. So I'm slowly working through my stash, kind of revisiting some old favorites, and I do like being able to use things that have been on the cart for a while. I'm taking another one of these. We're going to go with Embrace All That Is Good. I think this will fit nicely along the bottom of this section. And I don't necessarily like having them like right on top of each other, so I'm going to align it left a little bit, even though this line is in the way. It looks a little sloppy when you use the more traditional whiteout underneath a clear sticker. I find that a white gel pen works the best, but I don't have one of those on hand right now, so we're just going to go with the traditional whiteout and put this right down here, because you can see the outline of the shape that I just whited out with it, but it is fine, not the end of the world. So we've got this going on for us, and now I'm like, I want to put another quote in here, but I just don't know if the arrangement is right with another quote. I could even white out "It's a good day to have a good day" and stick my own in there, but I think we figured out in the last spread that we made, the monthly, that these don't fit very well in the sidebar area. So I think this is what I'm going to leave this as. It looks pretty good to me. I'm going to go ahead and pop this back on the discs and move over to the next set of spreads. So this is the final piece of the puzzle when it comes to the Etsy planning. This is where I mark the different designs that I'm making in that month and where I'm at progress-wise with them. I'm whiting out this little header up here because I'm going to put the florals along the top of the spread in this one. I actually did the same thing last month when I made this spread. Let me just show you. So here's a piece of my April Etsy planner setup, and I just wrote the title of the sticker sheet at the top, and I put all these florals along the top and just used all of the functional room. Because I couldn't spare a lot of it to do decorative stuff in the body of the spread, I made 16 sticker sheets last month. I don't think that's going to be the case this month. I think it's going to be less than that. So I can get a little bit more decorative in the body of this, but I liked the concept because it did end up leaving me a lot of room to write. So I'm just going to try that out again, but with these florals instead. So I'm placing them one by one along the top of this page, And I'm trimming any of the excess, which I will hold on to because it might come in handy later. I want to create some varying heights. So like some things will go lower into the spread than others. Some things might get doubled up on with like a small flower that peeks in a little bit further. It's just a matter of making it look unintentional, but very intentionally unintentional. That's always how it goes. And sometimes you stick things like so that they look unintentional and then they look like too intentional. I don't know if you gather what I'm talking about, and it's not necessarily like that relevant here, so I'll ease up on the intentionally unintentional talk right now. But I'm going to place a bunch of these florals. And I'm just thinking about how I want to put like quotes into this part of the spread. I do think I want to put the larger good vibes on this half of the setup, or this third of the setup. This one right here. I just need to clear out a spot for it somewhere in the spread. And then this one's going to cover all of the whiteout in that top left corner. I just want to make sure as much whiteout is covered up as possible because it's a little unsightly. Okay, we've got this going for us, and I can move some smaller florals in a little bit, but if I can get one stretch across both pages to start off with, then we're off to a pretty good start. And I can use the scraps that I found, or the scraps that I cut off of the other half. And this one goes above that white outline, so this is a place where I would use like a smaller floral in a second layer, like a layer below. Although I think this one might be a little too big. So I'm peeling that up, and I'm going to replace it with like one of these. A little bit better. And again, it doesn't need to be perfect. I always strive to make things perfect, but we are only human, so nothing ever really ends up being perfect, no matter how hard you try. Okay, let's see what we've got. I'm trying not to make this entire spread purple flowers, so I'm going to go in with some more of the blue. And this is a nice big clump of florals that can kind of go into the corner. I oftentimes find it easier to flip the page over so you can gauge where the edge of it is when you're cutting. And then I'll do the top part of it. There's multiple sheets of this daily tasks layout. I think you get like 2 or 3 sets of them per month, but I don't tend to use that many of them. I normally just use one of them. I don't think there's ever going to be a month where I make over 16 sheets of stickers and there's like 16 different sets on one like spread of this. So I'll typically take out the pages I don't use, or I'll glue them together and just use one layout of this like daily tasks setup. Using some of these smaller florals to fill in some gaps. And I'll do this one. Maybe, I don't know, it's kind of big. Yeah, we'll skip that for now and just kind of think about what else is to be done. I'm thinking I want this good vibes to go across the bottom of this. So I'm going to take my white out and get rid of the bullet points. I know it's going to look a little sloppy, but it's better than nothing. And I really wish that I had gotten a paper version of these quotes, which I do sell. I just didn't have any printed, and I didn't want to delay filming the video. So I was like, okay, I'll just use the clear version. But if I had the paper stickers, then I wouldn't even need to deal with that issue of having whiteout show through the spread. So I'm centering this onto these 2 boxes, and by removing them, now we have 14 possible spots for sticker sheets. And I shouldn't have whited this out because there's nothing covering it. Although I don't think I would really want the bullet points to the left of the quote. Trying to decide. I'm just going to leave it for now and come back to that in a little bit, but I'm taking my mild liner again because I use each of these for a different sticker sheet that I'm making, and I'm going to use this to put the titles up at the top. So I'm taking the mild liner and just drawing a line where I can put the title in, and then everything else below it is going to be process steps. So I'm going to take this and mark this all up, and I'll be back in a minute. Those are in place. I did leave one blank over here because I think another quote might be helpful for this. So we've got, go where you feel the most alive, be the reason someone believes in good people, and happiness comes in waves, it'll find you again. I like this go where you feel the most alive. I think that'll fit this area spatially the best. And I can use this as kind of a test on if I'm fine with the bullet points to the left of the quote. Honestly, I do not like the bullet points there, so I'm going to white them out. There's just no good way of getting rid of them. Like, I could do this vertical stretch of whiteout. I could go in and do each one individually, but there really is not a good way of getting rid of them. And maybe once I get all the writing on the page, it'll be a lot less noticeable, but I'm going to keep it like that for now. Maybe some florals could help. Like if that just looks really random. Down here, does it look as random? Not entirely. I'll play around with some florals down in this section. So this one's gonna go on this side of Good Vibes. My stickers are getting all over my scissors, but I'll clean them up at the end. So we'll get that piece trimmed off. And now I'll take some other florals to go over that whiteout swatch. And I'm trying not to get into like my functional room that I'm using in other places because again, this gets really functional in this planner. Maybe just the one up in that corner is fine. And then this one could go like over here with some of the smaller ones. Like that kind of helped with the whiteout. I do want one more in the upper right. So I'll go with the purple one. There's already florals on these quotes, but tying it to the top of the page it's fine. It keeps some continuity going. I have some more of the tiny little florals on this sheet, but I don't think I'm going to need those right now. But I'm feeling pretty happy with this so far. And I think this might be it. I'm not going to fill this spread in just yet. I am still kind of thinking about other better ways to fill this in, whether that be typing out specific stickers with all the things that I write over and over and over again in this spread, and then just using the stickers as my lists, or like, I don't know, stamping would not be the solution here, but maybe I just want to like abbreviate something. I don't know yet, so I'm just going to leave this blank for now, but I think you get the idea of how I use this. I just mark out the title of the sheet on the top, and then the first step is to draw things. The second step is to upload them to the Cricut design software, and then I do a test print, and then I do an Etsy listing for the hard copy of the sticker sheet and an Etsy listing for the digital download version of the sticker sheet, because I do sell my listings as both physical copies and digital copies depending on how you like to receive your stickers. So those are all the things that I write on these pages. As you had seen in the spread I showed you a few minutes ago, last month's spread, it gets to be a lot of writing. So it takes a minute. It's a lot easier for my back if I'm not like leaning over the spread and writing here. It's just a lot easier to do off camera. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this into the planner and just show you the final result of this month's Etsy setup. Okay, so I'm all set up back on the discs, and I'm just going to do a quick flip through of what my Etsy planner setup looks like for the month of May. I'm loving the florals. These cool tones are really pretty. And I've been doing a lot of like pinks in a lot of recent spreads, so it's nice to kind of mix it up with like more of a purpley spread. This is the monthly where I mark out like cumulative revenue in the shop. On certain days of the month, I have important dates like the day my sticker release is going to go live and remembering to send out rep packages. Over here, I also mark weekly income and the number of orders that were made over the course of any given week. So this is the monthly. This is more of the goal setting like setup. So up here I'll do like setting a monthly sales goal, other goals I might want to achieve in my shop. Here's like a quick rundown of the designs that I'm bringing to the shop this month. Over here I have like daily stuff, so days I made a sale, days I shipped orders, days I was tagged in a photo on Instagram with someone using my stickers, etc. Major expenses go down here. Things like buying sticker paper, which I do in bulk, happen like every other month, so I like to keep track of that. My top selling designs. Sometimes I mark like my worst selling design, but I didn't include a box for it this month. Up here is just kind of like important stuff. So it could be days, or it could be like, when I was planning out for April, I included the Etsy boycott that was happening up here just as a date to keep in mind for like setting sales goals and setting like release dates, that kind of thing. Down here, I do things that need to get done for my rep team, so that's like sending updates or sending out graphics for like information about the next release, all that fun stuff. And then in the last portion of the Etsy setup, this is where I keep track of where I'm at in my designs. So each design has its own little set of bullet points, and I'll put the title up here and the steps in the progress down there. And as I slowly work through all of the different steps of the designs, and I make the listings and I upload them to Etsy, then I can check them off once I've made everything finalized, everything's online, etc. So that's how this portion of the Etsy planner works. I've found a lot of peace in planning my small business this way, but this is a layout like that can be heavily adjusted to suit your needs. Like I've done a lot of customizing with this, and I'm sure you could change it to be whatever you need it to be, depending on if you're using it for a small business or if you're using it for something else. But I just thought I would share this. A lot of people were interested in when I did the setup in this planner for January, so I wanted to give an update on how this is going and maybe some adjustments that I've made since then, etc. But I'm going to call it a night on this one. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you got some ideas on how to use this particular type of layout, which is called the monthly layout. It's a happy planner layout. So there you have it. If you like this video, hit that like button down below. You can also subscribe to my channel for more fun planner related content, and follow me on Instagram at Katelyn Plans, where I share after the pen photos as well as photos of spreads that did not get videos. Thanks for watching, and happy planning.